All right, kicking us off first is Andrew. You're going to walk us through some PowerShell tips. Tara, you're going to walk us through some Windows shortcuts. I'm going to wrap us up with the run dialog box.
Okay.
That thing in Windows that everyone sees and uses a little bit. You can do some fun things with it. So with that, Andrew, take us away.
Hello, quick transition. Yes. Let me get all set up here. We seeing this?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, am I good though? Okay, perfect. Screen size looks glorious over here. All right, so what are we doing? So recently at PowerShell Wednesday, Tara sent me a message. She's like, "Hey, what's PS Readline? How do I use it?" And well, I decided to show her at PowerShell Wednesday like a true good coworker. I did not offer her any help in the moment. I forced her to do it live.
That's absolutely true. He did.
That's the best way to learn.
That is, yeah, with the pressure on, with the lights burning.
Yeah,
that's the best way.
And
to
everybody watching.
Thanks, Josh.
That's right.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
We actually have a blog on this too. If you want to check out pdq.com/blog, I can post a link to it in a little bit. But we got PS Readline. PS Readline is our way of interacting with PowerShell in the terminal. It's responsible for the cool experience. If you've ever done the up arrow key to like go through previous commands, that right there is PS Readline working for you. You already have it installed. It ships with PowerShell. You can run git module PS Readline. If you don't have it, you can install module PS Readline force. Okay, and get yourself started there. But up arrow is one thing. That's pretty cool. There's a little bit more that we can do, such as, let's do this. Git process. I'm going to do control space. How do I do that on this keyboard? Ba-da-bum. Look at that. So we have this control space. Tab completion is awesome, which is also handled by PS Readline. But control space gives you a list of all the things you can do. So if I do control space with even less characters, we should see, look at all this, all these different commands that start with git pro. Okay, same thing it goes for like parameters. I could tab through everything like that, or we can control space. One more time, oh, whoops. Look at that, all of the options. Now, there's a lot more you can do with PS. Oops, sorry. I'm not used to these hotkeys. There's a lot more you can do with PS Readline, such as, yeah, I know. I'm new to computers, Tara. I get it.
Oh, you got a new keyboard. I can tell when you're trying to hit space and you're typing Z.
And going from Mac to the other thing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my Z key, if I hold Z, it turns into control. So if I tap it at Z, it's a whole thing. Yeah. But there's this thing called F1 on our keyboards, the function key, F1. If we press it, it'll actually bring up help for us because using the help is super important in PowerShell. Gives us a lot of good stuff. But if we press F1, you saw I was at the name parameter. Well, it tells me what does the name parameter do. You can specify some stuff using the name. That kind of makes sense. When I'm done reading and learning everything that I need to, I can press Q and look where I'm right where I was. So it's a way that you don't have to like type a command. Oh crap, how do I get it to work? Delete everything, do it again, rinse and repeat for the rest of your life. We've moved past that. All right. Let us delete this real quick. And I'll show one other cool thing that we can look at. That is, sorry, I'm not used to it. Control R. So Control R will actually search through your PS Readline history. So let's say yesterday you wrote a crazy awesome code. It was this one-liner that solved all the problems, made you secure, made you no longer a single point of failure, all this good stuff, but you don't remember what it was, but you remember it had install in it. So I press Control R. You can see it says back search. And we'll do install actually. Look at that. We type it. Okay, that's not the command. Let's press Control R again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And it goes through your entire history to find all of the instances that include whatever you type. And it does a fuzzy search. You can imagine there's an asterisk at the beginning and the end. And I think I'll leave that as the ending for this. There's more you can do in it. Check the PowerShell Wednesday we did. Check the blog for some other things like key bindings and the other options you can tweak. But there's some simple things you can know about, make your whole PowerShell workflow easier.
That's super cool.
That is good. I like it. Okay, we're going to close you out. This might be like the fastest speed round because we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about in What the Tech. So let's just run through these really quick top 25 Windows shortcuts. Okay.
Keyboard shortcuts?
Yeah, keyboard shortcuts.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know how many we can do. Which ones do you like?
I like, well, some of them that I like we probably shouldn't do here. Like the Windows key and arrow keys, so super and arrow keys to snap stuff around.
Ooh, I know I like those too.
Yeah.
Okay, which helps. What else do you like?
I like the special paste, like Control Shift V. Like if you want to paste just
Control-Shift-V.
values,
Okay.
like that one's
That
kind
is
of cool.
actually a required thing sometimes.
Okay. Yep.
Like you actually need to know that.
Yeah, you need to know Control-Shift-V for
Okay.
values or Super Shift-V.
Mm-hmm.
What else is
Other
kind of
ones
cool?
you like?
So new in Windows, new-ish in Windows
Mhm.
is the Windows Control D. Let's not do that one though.
Oh. Okay.
That does give you a new virtual desktop.
Oh, I know. I
Which
saw
is
that
kinda cool.
one. Yep.
That one's actually
Okay.
kind of fun to flip
Okay.
through as well.
Okay.
But these are kind of cool. Like just like simple like keyboard stuff like F2 to rename a file.
Yep.
Right?
I
Like
saw
it's
that
like
one.
file
too. I like.
F2.
Yep.
They're just
Okay.
stuff that you get to know.
Okay. We're gonna move on because you know what? We have so much to do.
All right.
With you because I have a big what the tech that's funny.
You do?
Yes. it's
Okay,
a
so
good
you're
one.
saying I got to get through this kind of
Yeah.
fast.
Hurry. Go fast.
Okay. So this dialog box here, right? This thing that everybody has,
Mm-hmm.
Windows key and R to get to the dialog box. It can do some really cool stuff for you. And so I'm actually just going to like show you some of these like copy paste, right? Like you can start a browser, right? You can just say, I want Chrome. And you're going to get Chrome and you can target a specific web page to launch from here. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of cool, but not all that awesome. What if I wanted to launch Word? Hey, look, WinWord, and I get Windows or Microsoft Word. But then I can also do stuff like I can launch executables. So I can launch I can launch a shell. I can launch PowerShell. Maybe I want remote desktop, MSTSE. This is a way to get really, really fast and get through all kinds of parts of your system.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to stop a service, right? Services.msc. Or maybe you can't remember any of them, but you do remember MMC,
Mhm.
right? And then from here, you can add different snap-ins to get all the stuff that you want. I thought that was fun.
Mm-hmm. That is fun.
But what a lot of people don't know is that if you do this, if we come here, I went to C and created a folder called shortcuts. And in this shortcuts, I'm going to put files and things, and I'm going to prove that it doesn't work, right? I'm going to type Slack right now. Slack doesn't work.
Yeah.
We get an error.
Because it doesn't know what to
Yep.
do. Mhm.
I'm going to take this Slack shortcut. I'm going to put it in C shortcuts. When I've got all of my shortcuts and things in here named that I want it to be, maybe even like this batch file that's just start, you can have it do all kinds of different things. I'm going to open system properties. I'm going to come to advanced, environment variables. I'm going to come here to path. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to add my shortcut directory in this, and then I'm going to restart the computer. I'm sure that there are specific services that you can restart to make it pick that up, but I didn't want to go look for them, so I just restarted it. So now, after I've done that, I have this Slack here from the run dialog box. I can now just call Slack.
So you're basically making like a run profile for yourself.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. So
Andrew was talking about this in PowerShell yesterday. This is hilarious that you're doing the same thing for run now.
and it just keeps you from having to like get to all kinds of different things, right? So like I can put Chrome because that's added to path. Anything that's added to path, and then you can get away from having to use this silly mouse thing
I mean, that's for suckers.
and just
obviously.
live on your keyboard. The funny thing is, so the search bar, kind of, it used to in previous editions of Windows, used to do the same thing, but now it's actually like this fuzzy search, and some of the stuff works, and it'll find it, but not all of it. So yeah, this run dialog box can be really, really powerful.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, so little help speed you around a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
So we kind of stumbled onto that with II in PowerShell. It looks to be a similar functionality to me. Maybe not exactly the same. But,
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. A little
Okay.
bit, yeah. Alrighty.
Love it.
Thanks for watching this segment from PDQ Live. If you like this, you'll love the full show. Check it out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain. Oh, and like and subscribe, please.